I've got the lights dimmed. I've got a little smooth music on the stereo. 'Cause now I'm gonna talk about Oz, girlfriend. This sexy, super smart, savvy lady wants to try nasal snuff. And Oz has a question: how to tickle her olfactory center. When it comes to the sensuality of the schnoz, I am your snuff love guru. So let me lead you down a path that might even help you help her. All right, you say you're trying to get the GF to try some nasal snuff, and she's willing. She would love to enter your wacky world of sticking stuff up your nose and enjoying the tobacco and so on. So we got to figure out what exactly might be giving her trouble. Is it the nicotine? Is it that she doesn't like certain aromas? Or does it burn her or cause irritation, sneezing, problems like that up in the nose? Well, we can solve all three of those. The first one, of course, nicotine, is easy. Just try a snuff that has lower nicotine. Typically, the, in quotes, candy snuffs, I call them the sweetie dee fruity duty, choco-rific, mentalicious snuffs, are going to offer a little bit less nicotine than, let's say, a plain snuff. Certainly less than something like a high dry toast. If she's looking for a lot of nicotine, we've already discussed it in a previous video, how about trying her on a toast snuff? You know, the super strong toast from Delakia is a mind blower. It's strong. But even high dry toast from Freiburg and Trayer, while giving a really nice toasted tobacco, nutty, sort of lovely scent, and a little bit of hay, a little bit of grass, it's very pleasant, will give also a lot of nicotine. So you've got nicotine lots and nicotine little, both ends of the spectrum. Now, individual scents disagree with individual people. I don't like ylang ylang. I don't like it. Wilson's does a beautiful, or did, a beautiful ylang ylang, but it was just like gaggingly cloying for me. It wasn't good. Some of the candy snuffs are just too candy-like. I mean, I love them in small doses, but I can't sit down and sniff through 25 grams of Temptation Grape Concord, even though it's really good. But like I said, a lot of these fruity type or chocolatey type or toffee type snuffs, they can be relatively low in nicotine. So that might be a great place to start. Now let's talk about chemical reactions. Some people are more sensitive to certain aromatics that are added to the tobacco and nasal snuff. For instance, in my case, I can't overuse menthol. If I start out in the morning, got a stuffy nose, maybe a pinch of Hedges L260 followed by a hot shower, but I don't dare use menthol after that because after a few minutes, it starts to clog up my nose because it makes the mucous membranes inside my nostrils swell up and I end up more blocked than I was when I started. On the other hand, bergamot, as you find in many SPs, keeps me clear most of the day without any kind of rebound effect. Different people have different chemistries. So the problem with the lady friend might be that she's just finding snuffs that are of the wrong pH for her body. And that again is trial and error. I can give some suggestions about mild sorts of snuffs. Now, if it's burning because she's sniffing it wrong, and we all do when we start. We try to snort it like Coke, or like we've seen on the movies. No, you don't. That's the thumbnail, by the way, if I can find it. That right there, what I just did, that's the thumbnail for this video. No, you can't sniff it like that. You have to sniff it very, very gently. And some snuffs, because of fineness of grind, might be harder to sniff than others. So you might want to start with your off-the-shelf, medium grind, medium moisture snuff. And that's most commercial snuffs, including the taupe chocolate I've been sniffing as I've been doing this entire series. I've also got some Toke Wildberry here, which this morning just didn't agree with my chemistry. So, and that's another point. It'll change from day to day, so you kind of have to try it. The fine snuffs like the toasts, while offering really good nicotine and really good aroma, can be hard to sniff. And if we're talking the fine, like white Indian snuffs, if you're going to try to blow your head off with nicotine, those are a bastard. You will inhale them into your lungs if you're not careful. So be careful. Now, you asked a couple of other questions about snuff that we'll have to get to in other videos because, frankly, my head is swimming with the numerous questions you have already asked. But we're going to do our best to get to them and get to them soon as I answer beginner questions from Oz, this one having been the ever-loving Part 4, Snuffs for the Lady Friend. Oh! Here's a little side bit of history. Mullins de Crawling sadly is no longer in business, and it's an ugly story of bureaucracy and greed and people enjoying ruining people's cooperative efforts, because de Crawling's was more of a co-op than a business. Members of the cooperative all helped in grinding the spices, which they also sold, and then the nasal snuffs as well. They had a recreation of a snuff that was introduced, I think, in 1786 called Pompadour. And Pompadour, no, correction, not Pompadour, Bonbon. And Bonbon, in its day, was specifically aimed at lady snuff takers. And one of the most famous snuff takers in history was a Queen of England. Her name was Charlotte, and she was so famous for snuff taking that the people called her Snuffy Charlotte. There was an entire room of the palace dedicated to nothing but nasal snuff. So, ladies in history have certainly done snuff. Thanks for watching. Hey, girlfriend, if it doesn't work out with this Oz guy, I know this blind guy